Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Paste and go. It said just
paste
oops.
and go.
I'm sorry. It just said oops. It did not give me the.
You might have to paste the whole thing.
Hey, listeners and viewers, I just did.
Hi.
I just copied it.
Well, I can.
We are looking at. This is how friends show pictures to other friends today.
Yeah,
it's not anymore.
I can actually
look at my photo album. No, we send links.
We do. We're going to. I'll share my screen while John's trying to pull it up.
Okay,
so
yeah. Why don't you do
John
that?
and
Share
I.
Your screen, so
I will. John and I were talking because I think we talked about this last time. We talk, yeah, but we were talking on the last podcast that we're thinking about downsizing. Or selling the house or refinancing or whatever.
You're right about that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to lose weight. Yep.
So I showed John where we're actually looking, but this is the place I really, really want.
I can see.
Can you see why?
Yeah, because you're a joker and it's got a joker place in it.
Let me blow this picture up.
Yeah,
can you see
let me see it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's like it's an underground bunker.
It is a bunker.
You are a prepper.
It is the governor's bunker.
What?
Yes, this is the old. I don't know where the new one is
currently.
No, I don't know where the new one is, but this is the old governor's bunker.
Come on, you're kidding.
And it's
look at the
2 minutes from my house.
Scroll back up to the look at the canning, it's a huge pantry.
Yeah, this right. Oh, this over here.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
awesome.
Isn't that cool? So if anyone wants to give me $1.3 million,
1.3,
1.3.
I would have guessed 1.4, but okay, it sounds like a steal.
But it also has this warehouse on the top. So this is what I would do if I was honestly going to do it.
Yeah,
I would turn this warehouse into a house, and somehow whether tear it down and build an actual house or convert it into some sort of funky house.
You can store both of your RVs in there.
Could do that, and then turn this, because part of the reason that we're talking about moving is we want to build the studio. I can't remember if we've actually. I know you and I have talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
but we're talking about building Jen's new studio. But imagine you buy this house on top, and then Bellpack is the name of, for anyone that doesn't know, Bellpack is the name of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Bellpack at the bunker, or Bellpack in the bunker.
That.
Wouldn't that be cool? And then turn, because this bunker I think is like 9,000 square feet.
Yep,
9 or 10. So yeah.
Wow. So here's what I would recommend. Boy, that's and it already has a bed in it. Did the governor sleep there? The governor slept here. Would you be able to say that?
Yeah, no, probably not. I don't think the governor ever actually saw it.
Cavernous. Go to the at the top left there, the one that's
this one?
See, you don't have to build anything. You can have the dance studio right out in the grass.
You could, or you could just make that the parking lot for the dance studio.
Or just have the dance studio right there.
Or you could just have the dance studio.
This is good. I like the overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's got
and there's already an RV over there.
I see that.
Yeah. But if anyone is interested, this has been for sale for a long time. 1.3 million. They did drop the price. I think they dropped it almost $1 million.
I think they're dropping it more than that if they want us to buy it.
So it's on almost 5 acres. It's 8,500 square feet.
Wow.
It is zoned commercial. And let's see. It's 1.35 million. Original price, 2.75 million.
Whatever. They can put anything on the original price. That's like buying a used car. Yeah. Well, in fact, I looked at a Honda yesterday for 1.8 million, and they just dropped it down to 28,000. So I just wanted to let you know they gave me a good discount.
So in 2008,
yes,
3/21/2008 is when the government sold it. They sold it for $175,000.
Is it because they stopped work? They didn't like the governor well enough to have a bunker for him or her?
Probably. I would assume that's the case. Absolutely.
I was just curious.
No, it's interesting because they have to have somewhere. They have to have another bunker. So the reason they chose this particular one, in my part of Nashville, and this is Davidson County, which is where the governor's main location. We are Nashville. Nashville is where the government is, the state capital.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there is another bunker out here somewhere, but we are at the highest point in all of Davidson County.
Wait a second. So you're putting a bunker in the highest point
for communication purposes. So it's built into a hill.
Shouldn't they build a tower for him then if they want?
There is a tower. So
I don't
so the way it works.
I mean,
right.
I know.
So
we've got the highest spot, and we're going to build below the highest spot.
That's what they did.
No,
that's exactly what they did. So they get the highest point. At the highest point, there's actually a water tower and a communication tower, because that's still there. It's a cell tower now. But then you start going down the hill,
and the water tower has scotch in it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I want it so bad. You can see it's been on the market for 896 days. It's
aging beautifully.
But it was built in 1952.
Yes.
So anyway, it's the ultimate hideaway, according to this. TN and USA built bomb shelter with 2-inch thick. That doesn't seem 2 foot thick. Sorry, 2 foot thick. Still doesn't seem like a lot. Majority of building is underground. Above ground portion is what is reflected on tax records. So that 9,000 square feet, that's just the above ground. That's not even counting the below ground. Ooh. Underground portion is larger than above ground. Great site for tourist attraction, secure storage, wine warehousing, recording studio, etc. Let your imagination take control with an adaptive reuse. Owner financing possible to qualified purchaser.
Let your imagination take control of your bank account.
Right?
That's
exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Gee,
I seriously though,
in the first place.
I would definitely take that on. But it would, you know how much? So if they sold it for 1.3 million, let's just assume that they sold it for $1 million.
Sure.
There's easily another $500,000 worth of work that has to be done just to make it not only livable, but also used for commercial purposes.
Sure. Well, and you could spend an unlimited amount of money on a place like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And depending upon how much you want to have invested and how long you are willing to wait to turn it around, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
The nice part is it really is. It's so if you go up my street, go up my road and take a left and take a right, it's right there. It's 2 minutes. It takes me 5 minutes to get there, to be fair, because it's 30 mile an hour roads.
So you could actually just buy that, use it as a garage, and then walk home.
If I had unlimited funds, I might do that, but I don't. We don't have we have so few listeners on this podcast right now. This is what we were hoping. I have been wanting to buy this.
Listeners and
our podcast has been going for about 896 days, and I was hoping that starting this podcast would allow me to be able to build this just so I could store all of my Jeeps.
You know, some of our listeners and viewers have logged in and they've felt like just one podcast is 896 days because we sometimes drag things out.
Well, sometimes. John, come on. Give us a little bit more credit.
How long have I been listening to this? I know. So, sorry, listeners and viewers, but we love you. And if you have friends or relatives or enemies or neighbors, honestly, your entire town, they should probably be listening.
Help me buy the bunker.
You know what? And we would I'll tell you what, we'll step up if we can suddenly bring this into an income producing position where Nick can afford that. I'm willing to give him, no, I'm not, any of my half, but we'll put in a plaque. Thanks to PoddiMouths viewers and listeners. And you will have the ability to come and visit. If he has like an admission, you can get in admission free.
It'll be like Patreon. There's different levels.
Except better.
So if you donate more than say 10 grand, you have won the right to come to the bunker when the shit hits the fan.
Okay. SHTF, you have a place to go. But that's 10 grand plus. I'd make that 100 grand because you're going to get a whole bunch of people.
That's true. Okay. 100 grand. If you donate 100 grand, I've saved your spot.
Sorry, 10 grand people.
10 grand. You get the option as a backup.
We'll have a raffle.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So anyone that donates 10 grand to getting this, they get a chance to win the second spot.
And if you're wondering, if you say, John and Nick, I'm sold on that. I'm in. Where do I sign? All you have to do is go to PoddiMouths.com.
Yeah.
And you can email us right from there. And we'll fly to you, assuming your check clears, and pick up the 100,000.
Cashier's check only.
As Lisa always said, this is funny because it's a car business phrase. Somebody pays with a check on a car or whatever. Hammer it. We got to run that to the bank and hammer it. So we know the check clears.
Yep.
Anyway, so yes, hammer it.
That's funny. Speaking of hammer it, did you watch either of the TGL games?
The TGL.
I don't know if it's Tiger Golf League, if that's what it stands for, but that's what I've been calling it, the Tiger Golf League. It's his new indoor golf stadium golf.
I'm not familiar with it. Okay.
Oh yeah, so they have teams.
Multiple. They play. I don't remember. Do they do night golf too?
No, they have built a stadium in Florida, right. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. They built a stadium. Of course. They have, look it up. TGL. I don't know if it's TGL.com. Anyway, but they have a big, massive screen, and it's all digital. So they have teams of championship pros. So Tiger is one of them. Rory McIlroy.
Really?
All of those. Yeah, and they all have their different teams, and it's a team of 3. It's either a team of 3 or a team of 4. I don't remember.
TGL. And, that's it.
Yeah. And so they'll hit against the screen, and then wherever the ball lands, once it gets up to the green, they actually have a green that rotates in the stadium, and they have platforms under it that raise and fall parts of it. So they change the undulations in the green.
Wow.
So it's what did I say?
So it's Tiger and Rory. And just by the way, if those of you if you're interested, TGLgolf.com is the
TGL Golf. It's really cool. I was skeptical when I watched it. I watched the first one, and I think I found my new, because it's short. It's only 2 hours long, something like that. They only play like 15 holes. And that's
ideal for me. Can I tell you right now? I just played 18 not that long ago.
Really?
I'm so done after 15.
Oh yeah. Really? Well, and they it's a team thing. It's a team event. So they play the first 12, I think. And I'm getting these numbers wrong. I'm sorry. I can hear Eric screaming at the car radio right now. He's screaming because he's a. You think I'm a golf fan? I mean, well, it's true. It is MLK Day, so we do have it off today. So I'm sure that might be the case.
Not in this cup holder.
Anyway, not in this cup holder. I hope not in this cup holder. Well, if it's in a cup holder, it's probably on his chair. His chair on the patio.
Yes, because it's not cold there.
Right. So the first part of the round, they play as a team and they rotate. So one person will tee off, then the next person takes the second shot, and so on until they hole out. And their goal is low score on the hole, but that gives them a point. Okay. But they can also, which is why I thought of this, is they have an option to hammer down, which they throw like a yellow scarf, just like in football, and they have the ability to double their points.
What football are you watching where they throw a yellow scarf? I'm just curious about that.
It's any football. It's footy football.
I can see the ref. Stop. You have right now. Hey. Where's my scarf? That's a penalty. That's what I think you're watching.
I think you're generalizing a little bit. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. Sometimes John. Okay, folks. To be fair, John is making me do this earlier than normal. Because we are the podcast, so my words aren't working very well, and it's a day off. So I roll. I am literally still wearing my pajamas. I rolled right out of bed to come up here, which is why I have because my hair is a mess.
This is just too easy.
I know,
it's too darn easy.
I like setting people up for easy stuff.
No, I don't want to do that. No, I did not watch that. I wish I would have now that you mentioned it. However, I did watch some NFL football playoff action. And,
they're down to the final four.
One of the teams I was cheering for won, but the rest last weekend and this all lost.
Oh,
so you don't want me cheering for your team, clearly. But the snow,
I remember that.
The snow in Philly and Buffalo, man, they got
hammered.
It totally changes.
Speaking of hammered,
the way you
hammered
play,
down.
yes, hammering that football game. But that totally changes the dynamic, and you got to give credit to those that pulled it off.
Absolutely. They should get paid more.
They should.
That was
sarcasm. And then what they would donate to PoddiMouths, and you could have that bunker.
I could get the bunker.
I know. I think that's. I think honestly, that's probably going to happen now that we mentioned.
I think so. Absolutely. I can hear people right now writing out those checks. that we're not
Probably
going to
writing the
accept
checks, but
because
saying I wasn't. Yes, we are. I was wondering, what I was going to do with this extra $100,000 I had laying around
right
before tax day.
before tax. Exactly.
Another
It's a
benefit.
donation. Yeah.
We are not a 501c though, so we're going to have to handle that at some point, or
Yeah.
403c.
No,
whatever.
we're just an LLC.
Yes, we are an LLC. You go to LLC if you need to. I wanted to talk to you about, we talked about my F-150 that I was having trouble with.
Yeah, you
And
took a phone call right
truck.
before we got on here.
I know, and I love the truck, and I made that clear, I think, but I've been having trouble with the powertrain. And one Ford dealership fixed the powertrain part, but couldn't do anything with the transmission because of timing. I called 4 dealerships, and all 4 of them said, maybe within 2 months we can get your transmission looked at.
Unbelievable.
And so, okay, well, that's clearly a problem with manufacturer, training, hiring, whatever you want to point at.
Yeah.
What I've decided to do, or trying to do anyway, is trade it to a Ford dealer who will put money on it as if it were fixed, because I have full warranty coverage on it, so they can repair it. I just don't have to wait for the repair. If they do it internally, they'll put it right to the front of the line in the service department. So they can get it fixed. They can put it on the lot. And hopefully, if they give me reasonable money, I can get into another vehicle. So as much as I love the truck. Are you going
to do new, or are you going to do a used one? Pre-owned?
I'm kind of looking at pre-owned, as I have been the last several. However, we looked at, and I can say a particular brand that you and I have both connected with over the years and owned over the years, a Nissan Murano. And it's a 2023 nice car. It's a SUV, good size compared to some of the others. And it's really a nice vehicle. I'm not going to buy it. Just
they are nice. I had a Murano once, a long time ago.
Well, the first ones, I thought they were kind of searching for a niche, a niche. They didn't really seem to. I wasn't sure exactly where they fit in, but they're very nice, and they're kind of cutting edge styling, how Nissan imagines it, and the CVT, continuously variable transmission, and all that. Drove it, nice car. Then I saw that they had another vehicle on the lot, and I thought, you know what, Lisa has her car now. And I want something smaller, since we're doing this, that'll fit into so we can actually fit both cars in the garage. Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be very nice. So you're looking at a Jeep Wrangler.
Truck's been sitting out. I'm looking at a Jeep Wrangler.
Are you really? I just guessed that. I was being an asshole.
It's a funny, which clearly you are, but it's a 2021 with 7,300 miles on it is all.
Seriously, what's the trim? Nice.
And it is.
Is it white with
no
white 4xe?
They said we have a 4xe, and I said no. No, I didn't. They did actually have one that was a 4xe, and I said pass. It had more miles on it than I wanted. Price is reasonable, and I'm going to look at it later on today, because I thought, you know what, it's fun. It's going to be something a little different. It has the V6 in it.
Okay, good.
So that's kind of what I was thinking too. Hardtop, also good. Yeah, and so. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like, but I thought you'd be interested.
Yeah, very much. What color?
Black I think it's a charcoal.
Charcoal. That's my favorite.
It is. Well, then
that was my first. That was my first choice when I bought mine, but I couldn't. So no one had one, and they had actually I don't think they discontinued the color. I don't want to say discontinued because they were still pumping it out. But if you were to order it, you couldn't order that color anymore.
Oh, okay. So they were
white was actually, white was my second choice.
Yeah, it's not anything dark is not ideal down here, but if it's going to be in the garage, who cares? It's not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
The trouble is when you let vehicles sit out here, man, the sun just oxidizes, and the salt, of course, just beats them up. Like you see all the school buses, and they're just dull, and oh my god, because they're out in the sun all the time, and you do not want to let that happen to your vehicle.
Exactly. So that if you get that means I will have to keep my Jeep, so we can be part of a Jeep club.
We can do Jeep stuff because honestly, we're not that far apart. We can meet halfway in Georgia and do some cool Jeep stuff.
Exactly. Well, there's a Jeep. It's not necessarily a Jeep trail, but there is a trail that is in Florida that is it's for Jeeps. It's part of, I can't remember. You really got me on a day where my words are not coming to me.
Well, that's how I spend most of my life. But there is
a trail that goes
area of Florida, and I think that's kind of the area it's in
the general area. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it starts just slightly north of Tampa, and then goes up into the armpit.
Big Bend. Wait, it's not the armpit.
That's it looks like an armpit.
It's a Big Bend.
Oh, you call it what you want to call it. I'll call it what I want to call it.
Armpit. It looks like the behind of a knee. I know. Let's call it that.
The knee?
Back of the knee, Florida. That's not what it's called.
Kind of fits.
No, I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't spend much time there. But that's my kind of halfway. So you come from Nashville and we'll meet there. That's perfect.
There you go. Yeah. I love it. Done.
Only 4 hours.
Now you have a reason to get the Jeep.
Well, it's not about now it's something will blow up or something, but I do have a number in mind for my truck, as you can imagine.
I'm sure.
And I've spent a lot of time talking with the used car manager when we went in there on Saturday, and he's a good guy. Our salesperson that we're dealing with is from Wisconsin, so that was fun to talk to him too.
Nice.
And they're 15 minutes from the house, so it's all good. I haven't even looked at the Jeep, so I don't want to jinx it. I don't believe in jinxes, but I don't want to blow it up by talking about it. But anyway, I thought it was fun, and of course I thought of you instantly. You're going, I know a Jeep Wrangler. I'm going, damn it, how did you find out?
Lisa called me and said, don't let him do that.
Well, and I don't know. I'm going to drive it because, I haven't driven one since I told you I rented one in Seattle. And I was impressed with how it did.
Oh, but you didn't rent it at Rubicon then, though, did you? I thought it was a sport.
No, it wasn't a sport. I'm sure of that. It was either a Sahara or a Rubicon, but I don't know. I don't remember what it was. One of the first things I'll do, though, is get a lift kit and bigger wheels.
Nice.
And tires.
As you should.
I know.
Well, I mean, they're already a little bit higher, so you don't have to go crazy. Like, I would probably, because I want bigger tires. If I keep the Jeep, I do want bigger tires, so I'll probably put like an inch lift on it, even though it doesn't need to be any higher, just so I can put the bigger tires.
35s.
I think they are 35s. Oh, and I want to put 36s. Yeah.
Yeah.
36 or 37s.
You can spend and I just for grins was looking at some of the upfit stuff, and holy crap, you can spend just a ton of money on everything, from the winches to the light bars. And
tell you what, though, first of all, I need new tires. You and I have talked about that. I need new tires badly. So that'll be the first purchase. Yep. However, and I'd actually be interested, Mike, if you're listening, KO2s versus KO3s. I'm interested in the KO3s.
What are those?
That's the type of tire. No, it's Bridgestone. They're BFGs, but they're BFG KO2s. That's come standard on the Wrangler Rubicons.
I see.
I am thinking about going to the KO3s when I get new tires.
And those are bigger, wider.
They're about this. They're a little bit more rigid. Softer but more rigid. I know that's a little bit confusing. They look a little bit different. It is an upgrade from the KO2s, but they're a little bit a little bit more aggressive in at least their look. So I've never ridden on those, so I don't know if there's that much of a difference.
Two things that amaze me. One is you can find online. You can find the Jeeps that have been totally upfit with the massive tires and the everything from grills and even chrome and whatever painted out, whatever. Yeah, it's amazing, and you can spend. I mean, these are unlimited amount of money almost.
Oh yeah. A lot of people will buy a base because that's all they're going to do is upfit it.
And they you can buy those that have been upfit for find them, 120 and up. Yep. And I looked just for grins at a dealership website because down here they have the they have the lifted Ford pickups. I was looking at the Ford website. What a shock. And the big wheels and tires and everything. And they start at 120 and 160, 180. I'm going, what? Who gets that kind of? And I see them driving around. Go, where did you get that kind of money? And it's a kid that gets out at. It's the same kid. I told Lisa, it's the same kid that at Cosmo in Vegas is drinking at the pool all day, $15 cocktails.
Yeah.
Where did
you know what it is?
Money?
I hate to admit it. I'd be the first to admit it. One, they probably, strangely enough, don't have any debt, with the exception of maybe their car. But they probably still live. They probably still live at home.
$2,500 a month.
Right. They probably still live at home. They don't have any student. They probably didn't go to college, so they don't have student debt. Mm-hmm. They probably have a decent job where they just start pouring money into something like that. That's how they do it.
I would like to think that.
That's most of the folks I know. Yeah, that's a younger thing.
There are 40 and 50-year-old people driving them too.
Yeah, those I don't understand.
It's kind of a testosterone thing, I think.
It is
several.
Yeah,
especially the women. Just kidding.
Let's talk about that, because I'll be interested to know if you get the Jeep.
Yeah,
something that Jen actually noticed, because I think I've mentioned she doesn't have a car anymore, so we have the mid-size truck and we have the Jeep.
Yeah.
So she's been driving, but she's actually been driving the Jeep more because battery. So she can drive pretty much everywhere she needs to go on battery. So we rarely ever have to fill the tank of the Jeep. Mm-hmm. And also part of that was because when I was actually, so today is the 20th. Today was the day I was supposed to turn it back in.
Oh,
so today would have been the last day. Right? I extended my lease.
Yeah.
So that said,
but Jen has been.
I was trying to keep. She's been driving it because I've been trying to keep miles off of it, because I was over my. If you were averaging it out, I was well over my miles. Mm-hmm. Now I'm well under my miles, which is fantastic. That said, Jen made an observation, because she's always watched me drive the Jeep, and every time you see another Jeep, it's, you wave at the Jeep. It's the Jeep wave.
Yeah.
So she's been doing it, and she made the observation. I see guys do it all the time. Anytime I see a woman driving a Jeep, she never does the Jeep wave.
Oh.
So I'd be interested to see if that's just a local Nashville thing. And now I notice it all the time. But I would, if you get the Jeep, I'd be curious when you start doing the Jeep wave to see who you're waving at, and if you can see if it's a man or a woman and what kind of response you get.
Maybe if I don't do the Jeep wave, see, I'm changing out my lighting. You're welcome.
I see that. Thank you.
If I don't do the Jeep wave, maybe women will prefer that. Maybe they'll.
Well, I'm sure
he knows what he's not doing. And more important than that, so two things on that real quickly is I had a friend who had a Mazda RX-7 back in the day.
Oh, I love those things.
Oh, they were great cars. The rotary engine and everything.
Yeah. Hard to start and stop, or shut off the engine, because you could really mess that thing up.
There is some truth to that. But how they greeted other RX-7s was to flip the headlights open and close
really?
them. Yeah, and they had a switch that you could, like, if you were going to wash the car, you could raise them without the lights going on. So it was like a wink, or, the lights or the headlights up.
That's fun.
So that was kind of funny. And the other thing is the ducks on the dashboard. What the hell?
I have a bunch of ducks, I'll admit, but they're sitting in my center console.
Yeah, I knew you would not have them on your dashboard. Lisa and I are going, you could never do that. I said, no, there's no way. Because we've seen several where, you could barely see out the windshield.
Yes.
And who does that?
I love and hate the duck thing. So here's the thing. I keep them in the Jeep.
And what is the duck thing? Explain that to our listeners and viewers.
So anytime someone
to have a Jeep.
Yeah, the way I understand it, it's if you see someone that has a Jeep and you have a Jeep, you put a duck somewhere on the Jeep, and then that just ends up on their dashboard. It's ducking. You got ducked. So I don't know where it started. I actually read about it, and I found out what it was, but I've since forgotten. So a lot of people around here, I've mentioned this before, I live in the Bellevue part of Nashville. Anywhere in Bellevue, I have never been ducked in Bellevue. Every time I've been ducked,
I really want to jump on that.
I know, go for it. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Can't do it. My pastor might be listening.
Yeah, or mom. Sorry, mom.
Mom, yes.
I would be more scared of your mom than your pastor. I'm sorry.
They're both wonderful people. Let's move on. Because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. Your mom will never want to meet me. Probably your pastor either. So I go over to Franklin, and every time I've been ducked, I've been in Franklin.
Yeah.
So now I've gotten to the point, right? So every time now I go to, it's Franklin. So every time I go to Franklin, I actually pull the ducks out and put them on the dashboard. If I'm not driving, if we go to Target or something, just because I do enjoy getting ducked, and I do enjoy ducking people.
Nicky, stop it. So by putting more ducks on your dashboard, are you more likely or less likely to get ducked in Franklin?
You just have to put one. You really only, I've done it with just one and gotten ducked.
But if you put 10 on there, more or less likely to get ducked?
Doesn't matter.
Because you have
I think if you put more on there, I think the other people that have Jeeps are expecting you to duck them.
Okay, so this would also be like sorry, New Orleans, but I think it's not too soon anymore. We need to get over this. If you see somebody walking on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras, and she has a neck full of beads, are you more or less likely to throw more beads at her to get the accomplished thing done?
But isn't it they have to do that said thing to get the beads?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you just answered your own question. Doesn't matter how many beads.
No.
They have to do a specific thing.
If she has 50 beads and you have 2 beads left, 2 necklaces left, are you gonna offer to give her that one of those sets, or are you gonna wait for someone who has fewer beads?
First of all,
didn't answer my own question, did I?
You did. I still think you answered your own question. Well, first of all, I wouldn't be there. There are too many people, and I dislike people.
I know you don't like people, but let's say you're at Pat. What's the name of the guy's name? Pat Hooligans, Pat something or other, and they have the hurricane drink. Pat O'Brien.
I can't drink the hurricane.
Why not?
It gives me a stomachache.
Then you're not drinking it fast enough. Anyway,
the faster I drink it, the worse the stomachache.
You sound like a man this is from experience.
Yeah, no, it is.
So whatever, but you're there. You have a mitt full. You have 2. She has a mitt full. Are you likely to bead her or somebody who has like 5?
You want to know the honest? I know you're trying to be funny, but you want to know the honest answer?
This is true.
You want to know the honest answer? I love the beads. I would not be giving my beads out to anyone because I am going to hoard them.
So you would try to get as many beads as you can. Would you be flashing?
No, I'd be picking them up off the ground going, someone is wasting
on the ground.
Hopefully not, but they do.
Unless you find a drunk girl. Oh, so you'd be looking for a drunk girl with a lot of beads. And then you would try to take it. Would you have scissors and cut off the beads or something?
No, because then that would ruin them. Then they'd fall everywhere. No, I seriously probably if I had to buy the beads, I wouldn't even buy beads. But if I didn't, I would be keeping all my beads. Anytime I would get some, however I got them, I would keep them. I would not. So
are you saying that just because Jen might be listening and you say,
not at all.
I do not want to see that naughty girl's breasts. I would much rather keep the beads.
No, she would probably say, "Oh, that sounds like Nick."
Wow. Does Jen have a bunch of beads or anything?
Not that I know of. I'd have to look.
Maybe she's been hiding them.
Maybe.
Hey, have you been down to Bourbon Street, honey? And I didn't know.
I know she's been down there, but I don't know if she's ever been down there during Mardi Gras.
Oh, I have not. And that's probably good because, like you, I'm not. The older I get, the less people-y I like.
Yeah. Well, so I've never been to New Orleans Mardi Gras, but St. Louis has a Mardi Gras. Oh. And it's I'm probably going to get destroyed for this. I don't remember. There is a historical fact about that one. It's like the second. It's not the second largest. Maybe it's the second oldest.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's one of the two.
It's different there. And I'm familiar with the St. Louis one. It's different because
it's very different.
Well, but they still do the flashing and everything, but they actually aren't naked. They call it Mardi Gras. And
because it's really freaking cold.
It's a little different there.
Yeah.
Sorry, St. Louis.
Well, I've been to that Mardi Gras several times. but I've only ever gone to work. So I've only ever been in the VIP areas.
Oh,
that's the only way I'll do stuff like that.
Wow.
That's how I'm a bougie. Let's talk about bougie. So I will say I'm very blessed because my job allows me currently, and I will, because I did change jobs and I won't be traveling as much. I will have to give it back at some point. But right now I do have a demo.
Yes.
So I don't have to drive my vehicles. But it is cold here. Today, when we got up, it was 8 degrees. So it's for Nashville, that's very cold.
Holy cats.
The last week, it wasn't quite that cold, but it was still in the 20s, teens, 20s. And I dropped Peyton off, and I didn't take my demo to drop Peyton off. I took the Jeep, dropped Peyton off, came back home before I had to go somewhere and take the demo with me. So I told Jen as I was walking out, because it has an auto start, so I auto started it. I'm like, this is how bougie I am now in my old age, because it's this car is a very nice car. It's a very nice car, but it is not the high end car of this particular model. Yeah. It's the mid grade.
It has auto start though.
It has auto start. So you can see it's not bad, but it does not have heated seats, and it does not have a heated steering wheel. Exactly. That's what as I'm walking on, I'm like, this is how bougie I am. And I consider myself an absolute asshole for even thinking this, but I don't want to get in that car right now because it doesn't have a heated steering wheel. And it doesn't have heated seats, and it's cold as fuck outside.
It's 8 degrees. I kind of with you.
Sorry for my language, but it was cold.
No, when it's 8 degrees, you're welcome to say that. And I will also say that, it was 4 degrees in Jefferson, Wisconsin, where we used to live yesterday morning.
There is.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's under 60 here right now, if you can believe it.
Oh, I know. I saw. I always look to see what it's
off.
Yeah. And you might have snow coming too, according to Ryan Hall, y'all.
Nope, not here.
No,
I like Ryan,
but it will hit Florida.
It may be, and this is honestly, I think the beaches are every bit as nice on the panhandle of Florida.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But and they are down here too. But the weather patterns, totally different.
Oh, 100%.
And they are 15 degrees, 20 degrees lower than we are in the wintertime. And I'm like, nope, out. I do not want to run the risk of having.
Yeah, we have friends that have a condo in the Panhandle, and I mean it beautiful. Is gorgeous. I love the Panhandle.
Very nice.
It's probably honestly my favorite part of Florida.
Yeah,
if I were to live in Florida, if I had to live in Florida for some stranger, seriously, if I had to live in Florida, let's say the state of Florida said I could have a remote job as long as I lived in Florida, but they're going to offer me, $1 million a year to work for them.
That's Donald Trump. That's the deal he got.
I know.
Yeah.
I would probably move to Pensacola. I love Pensacola. I think it's got some really cool history.
Destin.
And Destin's too busy for me.
No, not on the beach. Go to the beach.
No, I still think it's too busy. But I would now Fort Walton. I don't have a problem with Fort Walton. I think Fort Walton's cute.
All right.
Anywho.
Yes.
I forgot what we were even talking about.
I don't know. You were waiting for the government to call you. Probably.
Yeah. Oh, cold.
So to call you and say, hey, Nick.
Minnesota and Wisconsin this week, there are going to be temperatures that reach as low as negative, with not true temperature, it's wind chill.
Yeah.
As low as -50.
That's darn cold right there.
That is darn cold. It hasn't been, I mean, it has a couple of times, but I remember in high school when it was that cold. That's the only time they've ever canceled school for cold.
Well, what reminds me of it is the crunch when you step on snow when it's that cold.
Yes.
Because anybody who's lived in that knows what I'm talking about. It's that like that. That's a really good impression, by the way.
It is.
Of
kind of like
snow.
My back too.
That's more. It's like an inhale.
Yeah, it's so close.
It is close, but stepping on it, it just instantly reminds you of how cold it gets.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's snowing and it's 35 degrees, and you go, oh, this is gonna, and it's not even cold. It's this is wonderful. What's cold is the crunchy snow, 30 below wind chill, and probably that means, depending upon the wind, 10 below actual temperature.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you say, you know what? This snow is going to be here 2 months from now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be dirty. It's going to be a mess. And that's the difference between upper Midwest and Nashville.
You know, that's funny because Peyton asked me that question. We have, when we're driving to school, we, like we were just talking about at the beginning of the podcast, we live on a hill, big hill, people around here actually call it a mountain. Ooh. It's not, but we go down into a valley, into a holler, and to drive to the school. And there's a part of it where it's a field, but it goes up on the hills like this. And one of the fields is still right now is still covered with snow from the last snowfall that we got. And Peyton's like, it was really warm the other day. Why hasn't that snow melted? Yep. And I had to explain to her, one, there's no direct sunlight on that side of the hill ever because the sun goes behind it. But the other part of it is the 3 days before it snowed, it was below freezing. Wow. So the ground froze.
Sure.
And if the ground's frozen and there's snow on top of it, it's not warm enough to melt it. And that's what happens up there as well, because it's,
because in December 15th, when it freezes everything all the way through, then in March, when it melts, or April, it's frozen. Well, and permafrost is a little different, which is obviously in the
further
Arctic.
north.
Yeah. Yep. But it's like that because it actually goes into the ground 2 to 3 to 4 feet. Farmers will tell you, I don't know. But in order to, and it's good because it kills pests that need to be killed in the winter months. And but it's also, it serves as water. Because when you get that snow, it melts and it's precipitation. The farmers
that's why the ground up there is so fertile.
It is fertile as long as, and the more I'm reading about this stuff, and I think we talked about it before, is paddock farming, where they're not using any pesticides or anything, and they're not
rotational.
And it's amazing what it does. And actually the fertility of the field, and it doesn't matter where you are in terms of, north or south or whatever, it goes down to a depth of 2 or 3 feet. The ground is so much more fertile,
healthier,
for planting.
And there are some in that do that don't even till.
No, they don't till. And and depending upon what you're doing, if you're raising cattle, it's not that big a deal. But you talk about grass-fed cattle, and then they let the pests, so to speak, go after the weeds and go after, and it's that.
It's amazing how that works.
Oh my gosh! But we've been led to believe that you need to buy more hay if you're gonna, and you need to plant it, and they're perfectly happy, the cattle. And they're actually much healthier, a lot less antibiotic use and all of that, if they're actually eating the grass and the weeds and the clovers and all of that.
Yeah. Speaking of, and this is me getting political, you've seen all the news about red number 3 and then the FDA changing what's healthy on their...
What took so long?
Well, so let's call them pundits, the social media pundits.
No second N, it's pundit.
Yeah, I know.
You
I was
do not know.
We're not going to call. We talked about this on the last podcast. I don't think our listeners want to hear us bicker.
They do
again and again.
Damn it, they do too. And I want those ducks off the dashboard. Sorry. Okay, continue.
So they were talking about. One of them in particular called it out and said, "Huh. I wonder why that's happening." And then they showed a picture or a video of RFK shirtless working out at the beach going, someone's coming in to kick your ass. Yeah. And you made the decision beforehand.
So they said, so the next batch of what's whatever the cereal is that has the brightly colored. Yeah, the red's not going to be red.
Yeah. Oh no.
Jeez.
Yeah, but then the list of what's healthy.
Yeah.
Water made the list.
What? Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
It's like, why was water not on the list?
I know.
We need it to live.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, I think Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid used to be on the list.
It was. There was a juice. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Olive oil has replaced canola oil.
Good. About time.
Yeah. Right.
All seed oils. Get rid of them. All seed oils. Not good for you. Sorry, people that create seed oils. You should have known that.
Well, Clarkson, I mean, he's part
Jeremy.
of that. Yeah.
Meh.
Anyway, on that note, speaking of, I'm channeling my inner Clarkson.
You are. Yes.
It has been an interesting conversation.
That's been fun.
I don't remember any of it. It has been fun.
Well, you've been drinking, so.
Well, I finished my coffee. Yeah. Yeah.
It was
coffee. My dad used to say
Irish
there's coffee with creamer. Oh, do you want some creamer in your coffee? Sure. Oh, there's the Baileys.
You want some coffee with your creamer? That's how it's done right.
Exactly. But anyway, it's been real fun. John and I, before we got on here, I was actually posting a new shirt to our merch store. It's much simpler. So if you want to head up there and check it out, go for it. It's just a black shirt with the logo. I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of cute.
If you're about to write the $10,000 check, so Nick can,
I'll get you a shirt.
Getting his, we will include a shirt.
We will.
PoddiMouths shirt.
That's the $10,000. Now the $100,000, you get 2 shirts and a spot in the bunker when the shit hits the fan.
And that. Yeah. And I think maybe a hoodie. We should do a hoodie too.
For the $100,000.
Yeah, the $100,000 people will give them a hoodie, and on the back it'll say, "I gave $100,000 to PoddiMouths."
If you give $5,000 or more, you'll get a bathing suit.
We should probably think about this in advance.
Yeah, we should.
We're gonna have people showing up at the house with checks.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I think we could, with $100,000. I think I mean, why not get a swimsuit for $5,000? I mean, that's a pretty good deal, don't you think?
It's a one piece. So there.
But it's got the PoddiMouths logo on it.
Saying.
And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, folks, head up to PoddiMouths.com. Check out our merch store.
Wow. Nicely done, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy the new, I guess, enjoy the new government, because that's happening today.
Yep.
And, and if you got today off, or if you had yesterday off, because it's going to air tomorrow, I hope you got to enjoy your day off. John, it's been wonderful as usual.
Always, it's great, brother.
Talk to you soon.
See ya.